I've always wanted to make a reel out of this statement and I'll do it on your show. But I always say this, खुद ही को करो बुलंद इतना कि खुद मैनेजर आके तुमसे पूछे तुम्हारी रजा क्या है.
Oh, okay.
You gotta have that mental attitude to move forward.
Amit, the recent challenge which is happening, which I feel and I've noticed that nobody's talking about, the silent resignation which is happening from the individual in the organization.
Silent resignation is not laziness, Richa. It's a cry for alignment, appreciation, and want to be heard. Richa, a very interesting thing I want to share with you, and I like drawing this comparison. Just like a life partner, a client partner is expected to stand by during tough times, celebrate wins, and co-create the future. And this is something I imbibe in myself no matter what happens.
Welcome back once again to my show, Noble by Richa, a corporate podcast. And I really want to say this that I believe in manifestation. With this episode, I had really manifested for this guest of mine. So this name needs no introduction. So I will give the mic and the stage to my guest. And I would like him to introduce himself. So here is our guest. Welcome to the show, Amit.
Thank you, Richa. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's lovely to be part of this and, connecting and talking to you. You want to know about me, right? It's interesting. I was in a catch up with some global colleagues yesterday, and I made a statement which kind of caught fire.
Okay.
It's not easy to be Amit Dube.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, who am I? I'll give you a little bit about myself. It's a little hard. So I'm a son of a mother who's an ex-army, a father who's a hotelier,
Okay.
a sister who was a journalist. Yeah. Thanks to my dad's profession, I've been pretty much all around India. When we were kids, we spent a lot of time down south.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lived in states like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. We also happen to be in Orissa,
Okay.
Jagannath Puri,
Yeah.
and then Rajasthan, and then Delhi and Haryana. Right?
So I
it's
think you have traveled the entire.
pretty much the entire
Yes.
world, and that also brought into me the ability to absorb various cultures. Yeah. So I think so that's a little bit about my childhood. Started my schooling is all around India, and then I ended up going to IHM Pusa,
Okay.
which is out of Delhi. It was a very renowned college. My dad also was from the same college.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah, very, very interesting coincidence. Didn't help much because most of the professors and the principal, they knew my dad, so couldn't do much there.
You didn't get a chance to do the college.
No, not at all. Not at all. I still remember I made a wrong Danish pastry,
Okay.
and the bakery professor was a very close friend of my father. I think he was his roommate. And the next hour, I get a call from my dad. You couldn't make a Danish pastry. I was like, you're not supposed to tell this to everybody, right? But that's been life. So couldn't get into anything that college boys do because I was always monitored. But there was always a wish to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, your dad is a veteran in the industry, so you want to be the best, right? So you did focus and pay attention to studies. After college, I joined hotels, right? I was very, very lucky to join the Bass Hotels. So I got posted in Jaipur. I was doing sales and front office.
Okay.
Amazing time. Yeah, it was in the foothills of Nahargarh in Jaipur. So lovely hotel, lovely connect. But then things turned around, and then I ended up joining the BPO industry.
Okay.
It was then the JECIS, which was G Capital International Services, and then that got took over by Genpact, and then I'm here, right? 25, 26 years in the industry, and connecting people, leading people.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I always believe is, and that's something kind of shaped me up, I never stop learning. I think learning is very key, right? I mean, after 25 years, if I have to look back and reflect on what really helped, is constant learning. I mean, 4-5 years down in JECIS, I managed to get a scholarship, and I did my executive MBA program from IIM Kozhikode.
Okay.
just about a year later, I jumped into the world of Six Sigma. So I did my green belt certification, and that was not enough. So there was this trainer certification happening, and I had a very dear trainer leader. And I said, "Can I do this?" He says, "Why not?" So that added value to the way I worked, and so it kept moving. Things kept moving on, and then finally, there was 12 years in that organization, and then I moved to where I am today.
Okay.
Um, love the operations. It's a very futuristic organization that I work in. I believe they think beyond what everybody is thinking. Right? I think they're a little ahead of the world, and that excites me.
Okay.
Yeah? So I think pretty much that is me. I love being with people. I connect with people. I believe that a true leader is somebody who builds more leaders and leads from the front. I think that's something that I've lived with throughout my journey. If I'm not working, I love trekking. I'm a known trekker. I have a very clear goal on scaling some mountains.
Okay.
I have managed to do the Everest Base Camp.
Did you reach the?
I reached the Everest Base Camp. That was one of my biggest achievements way back.
Yes.
But then I thought, let me pursue this a little with focus, with an intention. So then I ended up climbing the highest mountain of Africa. I have also done the highest mountain of Europe, and I intend to continue trekking. Yeah,
Wow.
that's something that I love to do. I drive a Thar, so like people call me the leader with the Thar.
Yes, you are the Thar guy
The Thar
known.
guy. Yeah, it's good to know that. But yes, I think it. I mean, I certainly can drive a luxury car, but I intend to be raw. I love my Thar. It's a great car. It takes me wherever I wish to. I love getting out on the weekend. It's important, in the kind of work we do. There's a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy that we need to put on, right? So it's important that you take time out to sharpen your axe, right? So it's absolutely fine to step out, take a Friday off, and just go in the mountains, relax your brain, and come back fresh so that you can achieve much more.
Okay.
So I think pretty much that's a bit of describing me.
Yeah.
Younger sister, she's a journalist. She was a very famous journalist. She's absolutely a strong supporter, a guide. I think she's very intelligent. So whenever I'm shaking up, she's there to support me. So I think that's a little bit about me. I'm an animal person.
Okay.
I used to have a dog. He was very close to me. But then dog person. Love having. We have fish at home.
Okay.
We have birds at home, and a lot of things. So
So a
that's
lot of
what-
like connect with the greeneries and connect with the animals is what your characteristics is talking
absolutely.
about.
I liked being very connected to nature.
That's really great to know.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question about you being saying that take a leave on Friday and go and freshen up and come back. So being at your designation, like how do you manage it? Like, do you think that is it really a real thing, a scenario that you can take breaks and you can go back because you have certain people, subordinates reporting to you, you are answerable to 100 outputs back then in the organization. So how do you deal with it?
I think it's very important to take control of your life. Work will continue. Things will always be on your mailbox. Yeah, but you need to have an intention, and you need to know the purpose of taking that break. Right? I have spent 6 to 8 months continuously without taking a break.
Okay.
And I've seen my productivity go down. I've seen my ability to think go down. My motivation level go down. And it's a true reflection of the way I do my work, right? So yes, it is essential that there used to be a very old saying, work hard, party harder.
Yes.
But I don't recommend partying. I certainly recommend work hard and travel harder.
Yeah.
Because it cuts you off from what you're doing every day. So your brain needs to relax. I feel a lot of us completely ignore the fact that our brain also needs to rest.
You're right.
And I think about it sometime, right? I mean, I'm not married, but I know my friends who are married. They work 8 to 9 hours. There is stress at office. They then come back. There is some kind of stress at work. I mean, sorry, at home. The kids are certainly the nowadays kids are certainly not helping in reducing stress anymore. Your kids get to school, then they get to teenager life, college.
Yes.
It's not easy. So you're constantly in churn of stress, right? And it's essential that you identify, accept, and you do something about it.
Okay. So there's a misconception in the in industry that if you are at certain level, say for like we take example of being a client partner of some organization. So there is a misconception, or which I want you to break that with your statement that is it a very a job where there are a lot of responsibilities are there, or it's just a fancy designation? I mean, like, no offense to any client partner in any organization, but this question comes from the the executive and the senior executive, that designation, that just a fancy designation. Entire operations is run by us only. That's the mindset. So how do you want to perceive this?
All right, that's an interesting one. Client partner, a fancy designation. Well, okay, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. The word client partner, right? And let me connect you with partner, a life partner, right? Um, a client partner is somebody who is the liaison or the bridge between the client and the organization.
Yes.
His job is to ensure that while you get revenue for your organization, you're also aligned to the goals of your client,
Yeah.
and are able to align the vision and strategy of both the organization to a win-win situation.
Yes.
Um, to be a client partner, you need to know a lot of things, right? I mean, you need to be very good on communications. You need to be able to understand what your organization brings on the table, connect that to the organization goals of the CXOs, and then ensure that you get it done. Your job is to liaison within the internal organization, right? So a client partner is client facing, but then there are many support functions like the AI function, the agentic function, the support, the RPAs, the delivery. You need to bring all of them together, the SME organizations, right? And ensure that they are able to constantly help innovation, transformation for the client, right? And with all this, you have to ensure that you're also winning, revenue, and you're keeping
The
your
downfall
company
is
in
not happening.
profitability.
Yes.
Exactly. You need to be compliant all the time. Yeah, your responsibility is to be absolutely compliant. You need to ensure that there is seamless delivery that's happening. So it's a role which is bundled with a lot of things, right? One very interesting thing that I can actually talk about, and I like to draw this comparison. Think about a real life partner, right? Think about your partner, right? You have to have trust. You have to be honest,
Yes.
right? There has to be a connect. A client partner also has to build exactly the same thing with the client. There has to be trust. There has to be dependency, right? You should be a client advocate, right? Then integrity. You got to be the integrity. The integrity factor is extremely important, right? Because even with your partner, right? Imagine if there's no integrity, it's not going to work,
Yes.
right? So that's a very interesting draw. You celebrate. You celebrate client wins, right? You celebrate success stories. You celebrate contracts, right? Contract wins. Just like you celebrate anniversaries, you celebrate birthdays.
Birthdays. Yeah.
You need to have common goals, right? Like, for example, in the organization, you need both the client and your organization need to be having common goals, common values, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, at home, your partner and you need to have common goals that you're trying to achieve. You can't be on different tracks. So I actually relate a client partner role to very much a real life partner,
Okay.
and I completely align myself in that way, because it's essential to be connected, to be a value add, and also bring constant value, continuous improvement to your clients' doors.
Okay. So, do you mean to say that this role is more into like building trust with your verbal like commitments? It's not much into like operational. Like, how do you?
It is very operational. It is building trust with actions.
Okay.
It's certainly not communication only, right? I mean, you can't build trust otherwise, right? I mean, you can keep talking for a certain while, and remember, you're dealing with the CXOs, right? So they're extremely intelligent people, and they can see through,
Yes.
right? So, and by the way, you got to be absolutely updated with the latest trends. You got to be updated with what's happening, right? Because the clients expect you to be the consultant.
Yes.
They expect you to be the expert.
Know everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My organization is a leading organization in the world of Gen AI. We are experimenting on agentic, right? We are ensuring that everybody learns, understands, builds AI, right? Now, when we do all that, right, it is important, and we are able to bring that kind of learning and connect it to what we can add as a value to our clients,
Okay.
right? And if you don't do that, I mean, our clients are not going to be with us for long
Yeah.
then, yeah?
Yes. Okay. So I hope, our audience gets to know that it's not only a fancy designation. It comes with a lot of work and a lot of responsibilities. And of course, it's not only about, what you see that, you seeing your leaders being in meetings and all, but it's about, meetings are taken for a cause, discussions are happening for a cause.
See, there's another thing that I like to share, right? So this is one side of a client partner, right? But I also attach it to another very important factor, right? So while a client partner is associated with a client and has to ensure that the teams do their job, there is a very important responsibility that a client partner has, is to ensure the business keeps going and grows. Because somewhere you're also responsible and accountable for the growth and well-being of all the people who are part of the team,
Yes, right.
right? So I think that's also a very important factor that cannot be ignored,
Yeah.
right? When I talk to my teams, I do openly tell them that I am the one who's responsible for who you will be in a couple of years. So that's something that just can't be
Yeah,
ignored.
that's what I explained, that if meetings are being taken by the client partners or the leaders, people need to understand that that meeting is not only for meeting namesake. It carries a weightage. It carries your future and the present.
Correct.
So I hope the audience understands that
Absolutely.
every role has got weightage. It's just that we need to change our perception.
True that.
Okay, so Amit, the recent challenge which is happening, which I feel and I've noticed that nobody's talking about, the silent resignation which is happening from the individual in the organization. So I feel that our retention policy, like not our in the sense the industry retention policy is not that strong. People are not being heard, not being valued, and a stage has come where a silent resignation is on peak, and nobody is talking about it. Have you encountered as such? What are your views on this? And as your leader, like how you will be tackling, and what is the information you want to give to the upcoming leaders or the current leaders, that how they should control all these things. So the entire topic is on silent resignation.
Okay, so silent resignation, right? So I think first we need to understand this topic, what it really is. It's actually, I call it quiet quitting. Yeah, it's when the employee is still with the organization but has given up, right? Let me say he stopped the hustle, right? And it typically comes when an employee encounters burnout,
Yeah.
fatigue, toxic work culture, lack of the right management, things
Yeah.
like that. When an employee is physically present but is not wanting to take up initiatives, does not sound positive, does not talk about his or her career. These are some of the I would call the what do you call that? What's the right word? Initial
The traits.
initial stages of
Yeah.
identifying. And you are absolutely right. It is something that is taking on the organizations, and it's not just it's taking the industries,
Yeah.
many industries,
Many
right?
industries.
It's not something which is common to just corporate world.
Yeah.
Um, yes, it is true. Silent resignation is something that needs to be identified by leaders much early. I think there's a lot that leaders can do. I think it's building the right connect, being able to reward people, reward in public, recognize, make them feel valued in the organization. I think that's very important.
Make them heard as well.
Heard, they need to be heard. I think it's also important that people are connected to the values of the organization and the managers as well, right? So I think it is a problem that needs to be addressed, and it needs to and this is something that a lot of leaders tend to ignore because of the fast work culture that we have all got ourselves into.
Okay. So, don't you feel that we are giving more preference to hiring instead of retaining the employees who knows the process, who knows the industry? So, so that's why the silent resignation is happening. Means the employee, a saturation point has come to an employee where he or she does not want to interact in, start any discussion with the manager that I want to be in this organization, but they have chosen this path that no, we will stay quiet because they might have understood that maybe things will not change. I might not be heard and understood. So there are two things: heard, and there is heard and understood. There's a very thick line between it. So I feel that heard is also not happening, and heard and understood is something which needs to be done, which is again not happening.
So people are in that situation, right? I mean, there will be times when management might not be supportive, people are unheard, and these are not uncommon things, right? Now it's a choice that the individual has to make. You can cut off and not do anything about it, or you can continue to learn, grow, and continue to make sure that your work speaks for what you are doing
With data.
with data.
Yeah.
With data, right? Firstly, I don't think it's just the management's job to identify people who are silently, quitting, right? It's also an individual who should be able to see that, oh my God, I am in that situation already. Yes, things are not fine, but if things are not fine, do something about it. Why take a back step, right? Couple of years back, I think I was in a situation where I felt I was not heard. I was not. I was quite demotivated. Anything I would tell my manager, he probably would, shun it off. He would not listen to me. And the irony was, a few months later, he would do exactly what I told him.
Okay.
So I had two choices: quit, not be interested. But I never gave up. I constantly gave feedback to him. He was not the happiest. I constantly pushed him when I felt the things are not going right.
Okay.
And in parallel, I made sure that I constantly learn. I started dwelling into things that I had never explored. I got into some initiatives. I started working on global initiatives rather than my team's initiatives. And it was basically trying to distract myself from the real point. But what I ended up doing was, I ended up making a solid visibility across the organization.
Okay.
Right? So I was not dependent anymore on just my manager or just my management. I was identified and recognized for my work across.
Okay.
So knowingly or unknowingly, people started liking me, recommending me. And then, it just became outside in approach, and suddenly things changed for me. Now, while this was happening, I was building. I call it, I was building. And I wasn't having expectations. But then when, my manager moved out and things happened, suddenly I was exposed to a lot of visibility and things like that. And then suddenly everything fell in place.
Okay.
Because I had not quit, right? And I had not stopped taking initiative. I had not stopped. I had not stepped back,
Okay.
right? That's one thing. That's one suggestion I give to anybody who's kind of moving in that path. Answering your second question, that organizations going and hiring outside rather than, like I said, right? I mean, I don't think one should try to put everything on an organization. I think it's essential that people need to take accountability of their life, their career, their self, right? I think it's very important that I think everybody every 6 months should sit down in front of a mirror and relook as to what he has done, he or she has done.
Yes.
What is it that they could have done better, right? And how do they think they are placed compared to themselves 6 months back? I think
Like
that
a
activity
reflection,
helps. A
reflection of
reflection of
yours.
yourself.
Okay.
Because you have to continuously improve in comparison to not anybody else but yourself.
Right. Okay. So I hope, with all this understandings which you have given, people mindset change, because now people feel that, we are not heard, we are not understood, we are not given the, opportunity. And there is no point in, going back and, discussing with your, immediate manager or next level managers. And what is happening that, people are leaving the organization. And again, in my previous podcast there was a question of, hopping your jobs, getting the offers and all. So I'm able to relate. So I hope, the audience understands that if you have any certain situation or a problem, you can go back to your manager and you can have a connect with them.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at most of our organization, there is a structure and a management style where there are either quarterly or half-yearly checkpoints.
Yes.
There are annual appraisals, mid-year appraisals, right? I mean, different organizations call it
Yeah.
with different
In
names.
fact, now the leaders, the new leaders, even the existing leaders, they have been being trained to be always open. Like that they are doing the skip level meetings bi-weekly or a retrospective kind of thing. So earlier it was not there. So
See, there is enough structure built by the HR for people to call out and get feedback. Okay?
yeah.
The question is, and this is a question to the audience, do people really use these tools
No.
and actually go back?
I can give the answer on the behalf, because if you'll ask about this tool, they don't know the link even, from where to navigate.
Yeah.
It's like this question comes at the second. Yeah. So
How many people actually go to the manager and leave the tools?
yeah.
How many people actually religiously go to their managers every 3 months and tell them what they've done and ask them what else they have to do?
I did you hear the recent one employee from Pune location? His news even came online that he used to submit his own report to his manager weekly. That entire week I have done this thing, and this is what I have not done, and this is what I'm planning to do. Can you just tell me where I'm going wrong? Can you just guide me? And he has literally come on, social media, like a reflection.
Self-reflection. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I think it's essential. I mean, with so much in the generations happening, I think it's easier to
blame.
crib.
Crib. Okay.
It's easier to crib rather than do something about yourself. If you go back and check the history of successful leaders, you'll see one thing just not in their life is cribbing.
Yes.
If there is a problem, find a solution.
They have
for it.
always done something or the other. Yes. Now I feel that there is a understanding that suppose I have learned particular XYZ course. If I'm not getting job in that course, I am not going to be versatile. I'm not going to adjust. No. So you're not opening the doors and window for yourself, and then the crib word.
Correct.
Yeah, we may sound a bit rude or harsh, but this is what something is happening.
Accept the facts the way they are, and it is essential that I know you have a very good viewership, and a lot of people look at your look at these podcasts, right? So I think my message to everybody is that do a self-reflection and don't hold back. It is essential that you don't hold back.
Yes.
You have to constantly
Yeah.
improve yourself,
Mm-hmm.
compare yourself to your own versions,
Mm-hmm.
and most importantly seek feedback.
Yeah.
Your manager is a manager because he's done something different,
Yes.
and you should be able to get the best out of him.
Right.
Right.
And be versatile and flexible as well.
Exactly.
You can't have the same meal and you will look for gym fit body. You need to eat junk food as well at times,
Yeah,
if you're going to
absolutely.
gym.
Absolutely.
This was saying I had read somewhere that if you want to be a gym freak, you need to eat junk food as well at
Right.
times.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you need to be only on the fruits.
Yeah. You have to have a cheat day.
Yeah,
You
cheat
have to have a
day.
cheat day,
Yes.
right? I mean, when I used to work out, I mean, when I was very serious about working out before my climbs,
Yeah.
I would probably be very strict with my diet from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And then Sunday, I would make sure that I go to one of my favorite restaurants.
And have a cheat day.
It had an extremely spicy mutton.
Okay.
I would make sure I go there. That was my cheat day.
Okay.
But I had a very different logic there. You also need to be happy.
Okay.
So when you eat good food, you produce hormones.
Yes.
Which are close to happy hormones.
Happy
So
hormones.
you got to find way to do that as well, right?
Yeah,
So, I
right.
mean, you can't be always disciplined. You got to be a little bit.
That's
flexible
what.
as
So
well.
people need to be versatile.
Versatile.
Instead of just sitting mum that no, I don't want to, have a conversation. Better I move out. There are a lot of opportunities. So again, you will end up hopping, different organizations or the roles.
And tell me something. If you hop out, what assurance you have that you won't have another painful manager?
Same, yeah.
Right? I mean, what is the assurance, right? What makes you feel that hopping out is a solution, right?
Right.
I mean, the most successful are people who stayed there the longest.
Yes.
And that's a fact of life.
Yeah, right. And I can relate with my experience. Yes. And there is a saying as well that you should not have a problem with the person. So here what people are saying that my manager is not good. Okay, he or she didn't give me promotion or whatsoever I demanded for. No, it is about the situation. Let's talk about the situation. Try to understand why that manager didn't give you. It's about the understanding of the situation. That person is not doing anything intentional. It's the situation. Try to understand the situation. Sit down and communicate. And then you will have a solution.
Okay.
So the question is, it's not about the person. It's about the situation.
It's not about the manager. It's about you.
Situation, yeah. You and the situation.
Alright.
You have expectation and there is a situation in between. But people feel that it's a 101. Okay, I'm looking into my manager and he or she will, accept all my demands. And if not, then I will go out. Silent resignation.
Okay. So that's an interesting question. See, you need to be, firstly, it's communication. You need to constantly communicate with your manager, right? It's easy to blame the manager for not helping you grow or not promoting you, whatever, but the reality is that you need to constantly seek feedback, deliver on goals, actually exceed on the goals, and be visible at the right place at the right time.
Okay.
Right? Plus, one cannot write off the fact that the manager is also under pressure. I mean, if a manager wanted, he'd love to promote his entire team. Yeah?
Yes.
But there are organization goals, there are organization point of views, there are organization results that define, how a person has to grow. I know there are organizations which very clearly define, your parameters to grow, right? And then there's some organizations that don't define well. But with both the cases, constantly learning, constantly improving, and constantly delivering are three factors that will always that'll keep your growth in your control, and you don't need to give it to your managers.
Means like you won't be requiring the validation this much.
Correct.
Yeah.
In fact, I've always wanted to, make a reel out of this statement, and I'll do it on your show. I mean, you're going to take this away from me, but I always say this, खुद ही को करो बुलंद इतना
Yeah.
कि खुद मैनेजर आके तुमसे पूछे तुम्हारी रजा क्या
Oh, okay.
so it is what it is, right? I mean, you got to have that mental attitude to move forward.
Okay, so looking forward that, our audience understands and, of course, understands this punchline for sure that you need to take control of your life when it comes to your career, your professional life. Okay. Nowadays, people say that don't be loyal to the organization, don't be loyal to the work, you will not get anything. So in today's time frame, it's like, loyalty is earned, not assumed. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, my starting statement will be loyalty isn't demanded. Loyalty isn't demanded. It's actually cultivated over time through values, through respect, and through mutual agreement. All right. So I think that's very important, right? I think it's essential for leaders to earn loyalty for sure. But there are many factors that come to existence to be actually earning loyalty, right? Let me start with a few, right? I think one of the most important ones that I believe is integrity,
Okay.
right? I think leading with integrity is very important, right? Being honest, um, doing what you say, and saying
What
what
you
you do
do. Yeah.
is very important. Um, you got to be able to build that trust with your people, right? You got to be honest, transparent. Yeah. Um, I also believe that I mean, loyalty has many reasons, right? And it's very essential to have people who can really be there. Respect. I think it's essential to be respectful to your people, value them, recognize them in public, in private,
Yes.
ensuring that you spend time with them in their personal goals as well as their professional goals. Be be the be the one who's always there to back them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that's another very important factor that comes in. I think recognition. Um, you know, it's a very famous statement that reward in public, criticize in
In
private.
private, yes.
I think you should recognize in both private and public. I
Okay.
think because when you recognize, you also need to tell them why and what are the futuristic things, right? So that is very important, right? Um, Connecting with people
Mm-hmm.
and their personal goals. You know what I mean? Personal goals is, and that helps you build loyalty, right? I mean, you should know what is the person. I mean, work is fine, right? You always have professional goals, but you also need to make sure you should know what their personal goals are.
Yeah.
So in your conversations, and you should make sure that you help align with them, right? So I'll give you a very good example, right? And I've done that a lot for my teams. When my teams get promoted, some of my leaders who've been with me, and I've been fortunate to know their families as well. I have literally called their loved ones and asked them to actually call them and tell them that they've been promoted,
Oh, nice.
right? When someone gets a significant recognition from the organization, I've done that several times. That I just request the sibling or the parent or the wife that hey, can you just tell your partner that he or she have been promoted, and
Nice.
it's been a long struggle. Of course, I've ran into trouble with that
Okay.
because sometimes I've called the wrong person and somebody's picked up the phone and it's like, who are you? And you get to know how much there is that trust because if your employer has never spoken about you to their family, it means that you need to have there is some work to do.
Okay.
But I think it's essential to be there. It's also very important that you show empathy
Mm-hmm.
and care, right? Um, Everybody will go through tough times, right?
Yes.
And in tough times is when you define the right connect,
Yes.
right? Uh, if you can stand by your people during hard times, they will stand by you forever,
Yes.
right? So that's
I
one.
can relate to this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So these are some of the ingredients that really help you build loyalty. I mean, there are many more. I'm just I'm just giving a
Yeah.
few that I can very quickly relate to, but that's what I think it is.
But still, the statement, keeps on going between the new joinees or the joinees who are there in the organization for 1 or 2 years that don't be loyal, don't do so much work. Company is not going to give you, industry is not going to give anything. And you won't believe this mindset has reached till the parents. Okay, now parents have this feeling that no, I don't want to send my kids to the corporate. Okay, because there is only the health challenges, mental challenges, a lot of challenges which is coming home, compared to what we have invested in our kids' education, compared to fees, the miscellaneous expenses. It has reached till that stage, and this question is not coming from internet. This question is very raw, and like every parent, my listeners, their parents can relate with this. So what do you think that what is the wrong thing, which, not, I should not say wrong, but what is the thing which the industry has done, that the fear of that trust is broken, and the fear of not doing anything, that no, we don't want to do, because there's no point being loyal, that has reached till your parents stage, like a report card. Like back then, the parents used to see our report card. Again, they are seeing our report card of our professional journey as well.
Okay, so see, firstly, I think it's important to understand, and it's not about one industry. I think
All.
all the industries today. I think we are in a very fast-paced culture, right? Let's go back a couple of years. You know, our parents. If we go back and check with our parents, how many jobs did they change?
One, my father started with one and ended with one.
And is one, right? So firstly, my dad joined one company. I think he retired from the same.
And they still
Right.
they want to rejoin the same
They can,
company.
right? So I think our parents' generation were an epitome of loyalty.
Yes.
They were an epitome.
Yes.
Today, when you look at our industry, we are a fast-moving world,
Mm-hmm.
constant change. I think the stress of change is what shakes up loyalty,
Okay.
right? Not everybody is able to catch up with the pace, right? And then it's important that you have your goals and your focus right. If you are ambitious and you want to grow in the organization, you will automatically cultivate loyalty, or you will build loyalty for your teams.
Yes, you will earn that
You'll earn it.
loyalty,
You'll automatically earn
Yeah.
it. But if you are yourself you're scattered all over the place, you're not sure about what you want to do, you're not sure about how you want to do it, right? If you yourself are unstable, you will never be able to build loyalty.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
about the mindset. Like
It's
you
a
are not
mindset
carrying the
issue.
positive attitude, and you're not seeing the positivity around.
Exactly. It's a very mindset issue. Um, I strongly believe the Gen Zs are the most easy to build loyalty with, because they need things like empathy, they need recognition, they need guidance, they
Yes.
need a vision,
Transparency and freedom.
transparency.
Yeah.
And if we can give them this wholeheartedly, they would be the most loyal, right? We need to keep them busy as well. We need to
Yes.
keep them engaged. They're a very fast-paced.
Yes.
Sorry, I should call them kids, but yeah, they are fast-paced kids. And if and they are very prone, and they'll be very happy to get these basics from any leader.
Yeah, because in my previous podcast as well, I had heard that if you don't want to be loyal to the company, that's fine. That's your call. At least be loyal to your work, to your role which you're doing. And that's what you are saying, that,
Correct.
when you're doing something, do it with loyalty. And if you're not being appreciated or heard, or whatever the instances are happening, go back and talk. Yeah.
Correct. I think you nailed it right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So great takeaway from this conversation.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I hope I was able to crack some of the myths,
Yes.
make a difference. I know these were very very close to reality topics. Yeah.
Yes.
I was able to share some of my experience though, but I think one needs to understand that our worlds are not. We are changing ways of working every few years,
Okay.
right? And there will be a constant change happening, and adapting to these changes is going to be an essential part of
And everybody
everybody's.
needs to change. And what are your views on, coming at this show, and what is your summary about all the questions about this show as well?
I think firstly, I think you've really curated it very well. I really enjoyed part of being on this show. I certainly, and most importantly, I certainly enjoyed your questions because your questions are very close to reality. And with my answers, I was not just trying to respond to your questions, but I was also trying to maybe frame tips and ideas for people to take away,
And relate as well,
and not
practically.
just relate but also imbibe in their ways of working.
Yeah.
So things, so everybody becomes better.
So looking forward. So thank you so much, Amit, for coming for this show. I am sure that after listening to this episode of this podcast, our audience will have a shift in their mindset. So we should have a lesser resignations, more loyalty,
Yeah,
and more episodes with you
absolutely.
with the different
Absolutely.
questions.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Amit.
so much for having me on the show.
Thank you so much once again.